All right. So we'll get started. Hi, Kaden. So like I said, you might want a chair nearby. We'll start with seated and just sort of centering ourselves, but then we're going to use a chair today for some stretching and some lower body strengthening. So to start, just sit however you can sit, on a chair or on the floor with your legs however it feels comfortable, and try to bring your attention to your sit bones, which are straight underneath you, those bones. You might have to move your soft tissues out of the way a little bit. And then just settle into the chair or the mat or whatever you're sitting on, bringing attention to the weight on the sit bones. Notice if you're equally weighted right and left. And try to notice if you can take a breath and lift up out of the top of the head and find somewhere where you can just balance. So you might want to lean forward and back a few times like I'm doing. And notice how when you're too far forward, it takes muscles in your back to hold you up. When you're too far back, you start needing to use muscles of the stomach to hold you up. But if you can sit right on your sit bones and elongate up through the spine, lifting through the very tippy top of your head, you can find a sweet spot that you can just balance. So little babies, when they first learn to sit, have this perfectly down. They have very, very little muscle tone, and yet they can sit there like little Buddhas and balance perfectly until something comes and then they topple right over. But they sit with perfect spinal alignment up on their sit bones until something disrupts them. So try to take a few breaths, finding this place in the middle where you can really just let yourself be balanced. And then we're going to bring attention into our breathing. So place your hand on the belly, one hand, and take a couple of just calm breaths. And notice when you breathe, where in your body you feel the breath. And this is a good thing to do every day, even multiple times a day, throughout the day, just bringing your attention to the breath. And before trying to change it, just noticing where you're feeling it. So sometimes during the day when I take a breath, I feel tension through my throat. Maybe something feels blocked there. Sometimes I feel like my chest and my shoulders are doing the work of the breath. Sometimes it feels easy to pull it all the way down and use the diaphragm and expand the stomach. So just notice where your breath is, bringing attention to anything that feels stuck. The first way to release something, whether it be an emotional blockage or a physical problem or blockage, is just awareness. So noticing the blockage, bringing awareness to it, will help it to release itself. You really don't have to do a lot of work other than the noticing. Okay, now we're going to breathe down into our belly. So we've noticed where it went naturally. I'd like you to pull it down, taking a deep inhale with the nose. Pull the breath down through the heart into the belly, letting the belly rise. And then as you exhale, let's audibly exhale, pushing the breath out through the mouth. Inhale, let the belly rise. Don't try to suck in the belly, just let it rise, the air, feeling the diaphragm do the work. Ribs expand, and then pull the belly in, exhale audibly through the mouth. Good, another inhale into the belly. And one more audible exhale. Pull the belly in, empty the lungs of all the stale air. Good. Okay, so during this practice, we're going to strengthen the legs and the core and the hips, do some arm work. I encourage you just to move at your own pace. Thank you for joining me. We will constantly be remembering to breathe. And when we breathe, try to remember to bring it down into the belly. And if anything feels uncomfortable to your body or not useful, then please just back off or don't do it. So everything should feel right to you. Comfortable stretches, exercises that feel useful, not painful. And if it's not feeling that way, then please back off, and you are welcome to email me if you have a personal question about any of it or need a personal program or whatever. I can help you one-on-one. All right, so let us come to standing, and we're going to come to our chair. Come to the back of the chair. So the first thing we're going to do is find our good alignment, the same as we did in sitting, up out of our sit bones. Let's find our feet under us. And I always say your feet should be hip distance apart so that it's easier to balance. So not way wide and not pressed together tight. Find your hips under you and get your feet facing forward right under the hips. And then we're going to just notice again the ground under our feet. Notice the weight of our body, whether it's way back or way forward. And try to bring it right over the center, coming out of the arches. Our ankles should be in alignment with the knees above and with the hips above that, with the shoulders above that, and with the ear above that. So perfect alignment that is very easy to maintain. So let's take a couple of breaths before we use our chair, just to inhale up out of the grounded feet, lifting our posture, and exhale down slowly, settling into our body with a nice slow exhale. Good, and inhaling, lifting up. Imagining that the spine is actually lengthening longer and longer as you inhale up, pausing at the top, and then very slowly exhaling down, very slowly letting the air out. Notice how when you exhale slowly, your body settles into right now, into a resting, digesting, and healing state. One more inhale up. Lifting tall through the very top of the head, feeling grounded through the feet, and very slowly exhaling. Good. Good job. Okay, go ahead and put your hands on the back of the chair. We're going to do a stretch to start with. So you're going to hinge at the hips, kind of like a downward facing dog. If you've been practicing for a while, we do a lot of those. We're going to put our hands on the back, soften the knees, keeping the feet hip distance apart, push the tailbone back away from the chair, and then let the heart drop to where it feels comfortable. You should feel a good stretch in the back of the hamstrings. And as you let your heart drop, you should feel a bit of a stretch in the thoracic spine, so the mid spine, and maybe under the arms. But really keep lifting with the tailbone, sticking towards the back wall, lengthening those hamstrings. And then take a couple breaths here, letting the heart settle a little bit further down, lifting the tailbone backward. Still grounded through the whole foot. Good. One more breath. And exhale. Good. Slowly walk back up, keeping the knees soft, pulling the belly button in a little bit. Now we're going to use the chair for just balance as we do heel raises in two different positions. So the first position is we're going to actually press our heels together, stand up very tall, pull the belly button in just a little bit, let the shoulders sit down in the back pockets. Those shoulders are back and down. This chair is only for balance. So we're going to use our calf muscles to push us straight up onto the ball of the foot and very slowly down. Inhaling, going straight up. Imagining the breath lifts us, slowly exhaling as we lower with control. Inhaling up and exhaling slowly down. trying to go straight up through the very top of the head, not forward, if you can. And trying to keep the weight on both the inside and outside of the forefoot. As you come up, don't let the ankles roll. Come as high as you can, keeping the ankles in alignment with both the front and the side of the foot. Good. 3 more, inhaling up. Feel the breath lift you, exhaling slowly down. Good, inhaling up and exhaling down. Last one in this position, you should start feeling a work even up in your hips. So the calves and also up into the hips from holding this position with the heels pressed together. Now we're going to go with the feet parallel, facing forward, hip distance apart. Again, trying to come straight up through the very top of the head and straight down slowly with control. In this position, really making sure your ankles stay forward and your knees stay facing forward. So if your knees are tending to roll inward, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hips together a little bit, which will make the knees face forward. And if you can't keep your ankles straight, if they're rolling out, don't come quite as high and really control the ankle. Good, inhaling up, exhaling slowly down, using that eccentric control as you exhale down. Good. 3 more here, using the chair only for balance and to make you go straight up and down. Inhaling straight up and exhaling straight down. Good job. Okay, we're going to use the chair again. You're going to step back into a lunge position. So bring the back, let's bring the right leg back, left leg forward. That back leg is going to face forward, or if you need to turn it out a little bit, that's okay. Whatever feels comfortable on your knee. We're going to come into a lunge. So if you need to turn your foot out a little bit for that to feel comfortable, that's okay. And you're going to have your legs pretty wide apart. So as I come down into my lunge, I want the knee to be over the ankle. So we have a chair that we can kind of push around, and we're just using it to keep us coming forward straight. And then we're going to come back up. Make sure the hips are facing forward. The back heel can lift up if it needs to. Knee comes right over the toes in alignment with the ankle or less. So if you can only come down to here, that's okay. Using the quad, push back up smoothly with control. If you don't need the chair, that's fine. But if you feel like that helps you glide the knee better over the toe, that's necessary. So down and back up, pushing with that front quad, down and back up, keeping the hips facing forward. Good, down and back up, squeezing the quad as you come up, grounding through the foot the whole time. Good, 2 more on this side. Squeezing the quad as you come up, coming into a lunge as deeply as you can, and then controlling it back up. Last one, down and back up. Good job. Okay, now we're going to just sink the back foot into the floor, letting the toe face forward, the heel face back. Bring the foot towards you a little bit if you need to. And then you're just going to lean forward, squeezing the glute until you feel a stretch in the front of the hip. And press the heel down until you feel a comfortable stretch in the calf. If you feel comfortable and you've got your chair for balance, if you need it, you can reach up with that right arm, which will increase the stretch in the stomach, so the psoas, which is in the front of the spine here, and the hip flexor iliacus down here. So reaching up while squeezing the glute forward will really increase the stretch. Good, deep inhale here. Stretch a little longer and exhale, bring your arm down, step forward, shake that leg out a little bit, and then we're going to switch sides. So, right leg forward, left leg back now. So using the chair as you need it. Cadence is going, wait, what now? So bring that left leg back behind you. The goal is to be able to bring the knee right over the ankle on the front leg. So wherever that back leg needs to be is fine, and the heel can come up off of the floor. I like to keep the back leg straight because it gives you a bit of a stretch as you do this. If that's not comfortable at all, or you're not able to keep your back comfortable, you're welcome to bend the back leg a little bit. That makes it a bit more challenging on the back leg. Yeah. My cat is going crazy. So nice and slow down, nice and slow up, straight up and down. Good. Squeezing the quad as you come up with control. Good. Pushing through that standing leg foot. Good. So now come back to your breathing, inhaling as you come down, exhale as you press up. Trying to bring the breath down into your diaphragm, into your belly. And if you don't need the chair, you don't need to use it. You can do this as a balance challenge. Good. One more. Good. And shorten your stride a tiny bit. Bring that back leg in line again with the front foot. So both of them facing forward. And then you're going to tighten this back hip, squeezing it forward. Bend the front right knee a little bit till you feel a stretch in the front of the hip. And then reach up with that left arm. Feeling the stretch increase into the stomach. Still squeezing the glute. Hips are facing forward. And just send the breath, breathing deeply into this hip area. Front of the hip, getting a good stretch. Good. Good, and relax the arm down, step forward, shake your legs out. Okay, good job. So we're gonna do one more stretch standing. We're gonna stretch out the quad versus the hip flexors that we just did. If you have a belt or a sheet or a towel, you can use it now to hook around the foot. If you don't have that, you're welcome to just grab a hold of your pants or your leg, your foot, whatever you can. The goal is to get the knee facing straight down towards the floor. So if you have a belt and you can only bend your knee this much, that's fine. Your knee wants to be down towards the floor, not forward. And then you'll bring the foot up towards your butt until you feel a comfortable stretch in the front of the thigh. So some people have to bring it all the way up, heel almost to the butt, but let the knee drop towards the floor. Let there be a heaviness, knee away from the hip. And then take a deep breath. Good. Good. As you exhale, pull the knee up a little bit more if you can. And relax. Other side. Again, hooking the foot if you need to. Letting the knee drop straight down towards the floor. If you're able to just hold on to your foot or ankle with your hand, that works perfectly well. And then letting that knee stretch away from the hip, bending the knee until you feel a really good stretch in the very front of your thigh. And then bring attention to the standing leg. Make sure you're not collapsing on that standing leg, sagging. Use this as an opportunity to push into the floor with the standing leg, standing up nice and tall, lifting through the top of the head. You can use it as a balance exercise and not use the chair if you are able to do so safely. One more inhale into the thigh and the front of the thigh, and exhale, release. And let go of that leg. Good job. Okay. I think we did enough quads. I was going to do sit to stand, but I think we'll do that next time because that's enough for our legs at the moment. So let's come onto our mat. Still standing. We're going to activate our core a little bit in standing. So the core muscles that we want to activate, if you remember, are transverse abdominis primarily, which is down here low on the stomach below the belly button. So to do this, bring your awareness to the belly button and pull it in towards the spine, shrinking the waist, and you should feel a little bit of a tension develop right inside of the hip bones. If you can't activate this, what we do in the laying down position often is take a deep breath and then say shh. And as you push the air through your teeth, it pulls your belly in. So hold that tension, ground through the feet, put your arms straight out, and we're going to do little arm circles. So I encourage you to lift through the top of your head, still ground through the feet, keep that tummy pulled in tight, and then we're going to do little circles with our arms one way, and then we'll switch. And as we do this, if we don't stabilize with the stomach, our body would like to move all around, wobble, wobble. So keep your tummy pulled in tight, keep your shoulder blades down and back, keep breathing, and keep the body very still, very stable. The only thing moving is your arms. Good, and reverse. Backward circles if you were doing forward before. Continue breathing, pulling the air down deep into your belly, using that diaphragm, letting the shoulders relax away from the ears, feeling the arms burn in a little bit, keeping the tummy pulled in tight. Good. Couple more, breathing, and relax. Good job. Okay, do a few shoulder rolls, shoulders forward, up, back and down. Release the tension from that. Give yourself a hug to stretch out the back of the shoulders. Rotate a little bit. That feels good. Good. Okay, one more thing in standing before we come down to the mat. You're going to reach straight up, lifting through the crown of the head, tucking the chin, and we're going to lift out of the rib cage, reaching the left arm up and then the right arm up. Reaching not over to the side so much as up. So pretend you're trying to touch the ceiling with one hand and then the other hand. Feeling the length in the side, feeling the ribs getting a stretch. Pushing through the standing leg as you reach away from that hip. Good. Just one more on each side, reaching, reaching. Up with both and exhale slowly down. Good. Okay, we are going to come onto all fours. If you'd like to come through a downward facing dog position, that's a good way to get there. If not, you can just come into a tabletop position, and that's fine too. So I'm going to go through a downward facing dog, inhaling up, bending the knees, pushing the hips back, bringing the hands to the ground, slide the hands out, and then walk the feet back just a foot or so. Keeping the tailbone lifted towards the ceiling, pushing away with the hands strongly. Nice wide fingers, pushing away into the mat, really activating the shoulders. Inhale here, lift the tailbone higher. And then exhale, just bring your knees down. So we're not going to spend a long time in that position today as we do sometimes. In our tabletop position, bring your knees hip distance apart. Bring your hips right over the knees. So hopefully there's a 90-degree angle here. And then you're going to make sure your hands are nice and wide and that the hands are underneath the shoulders. So if this is uncomfortable for the wrist, I encourage you to work on it a little bit because it does get easier as you increase flexibility and strength in the wrist. But if it's really intolerable, you can go into a fisted position to protect the wrists a little more. But I also encourage you to work on this position just a little bit if you can comfortably. Okay, in this position, we're going to lengthen the spine, top of the head one way and the tailbone the other. So actively lengthening the spine. You should feel length and you should feel all the little muscles around the spine activating. Pretend I have a rope pulling you one way at the tailbone, the other way with the crown of the head. Good, then press the shoulder blades down and back onto the rib cage strongly. So activating the shoulders down and back. Now pull the belly in tight. So pulling the belly button up towards the spine, making a nice strong table. Good. Okay, maintaining this nice strong position of the body, you're going to alternate lifting one arm up and then back down, keeping the chin tucked. If you've been doing this a while, go ahead and go to opposite arm and leg. If you're just beginning, you'll go one arm, then one leg lifting, keeping your tabletop back, lifting up as far as you can without twisting too much at the hips. And then slowly down, sliding the leg out and lifting up without twisting and exhaling down. So inhaling as you come up, either one arm, then the other arm, one leg, then the other leg, or arm and leg together opposite. Inhaling up, pulling the tummy in the whole time, shoulder blade is back and down on that standing arm. Exhale slowly down. So moving with control, we're going to do 6 more. Reaching the fingertip away from the toes if you're doing opposites. Keeping the stomach nice and tight. Moving with great control. Keep the shoulder way away from the ears. Good. So when you get to the top, find your balance before you lower slowly down. Good, one more. Really reach and exhale slowly down. Good. Come back either into a child's pose or a prayer pose. Sitting your heels back, separating your knees. Let your forehead come to the mat. If this is not comfortable, you can either be in a position like this with your knees less bent, forehead still on the ground. Whatever position you're in, come back to your breath. Take a couple deep inhales, bring your attention to your ribs, especially the ribs in your back. Fill them up, try to expand them away from each other. Exhale, fully settling into the ground. Good. Deep inhale, spreading those ribs. Exhale, slowly release into the ground. Good. Okay, we're going to come forward for one spinal stretch on all fours again. So assume the same position, and then we're going to come into a mad cat. So you're going to tuck your tailbone under, let the head fall towards the mat, release the neck, just let it go. Pull the belly button in, making yourself into an angry cat, stretching the spine, pushing away with the hands. Inhale here, stretching those ribs, and then exhale, put the tailbone back towards the back wall. Allow the heart to drop, shoulder blades come back and down, and open up the throat, lifting the head. Good. Reverse, pulling the tummy in, inhaling into a mad cat, tucking the tailbone under, bringing the pubic bone towards the forehead and just letting the neck go. Inhale here, stretching even further into this angry cat, pushing into the floor. Then exhale, let the belly drop, let it go resting. Let the tailbone reach towards the ceiling and the back wall. Shoulder blades come back and down. Throat opens, heart opens. Good. Take an inhale here. And then exhale. Reverse. Good. Two more on your own breath. Take a deep inhale when you're in mad cat. Stretch those ribs. And then move as you exhale into the cow position. Tailbone back, shoulder blades back. Open up the throat. Good. Okay, come into a seated position. We're going to roll onto our backs. So when rolling onto your back, if you want to, you can just go to your back. I prefer to sit up tall on the sit bones, tighten the stomach, hitting the feet on the ground, hip distance apart, knees separated, and use the core to unwind slowly onto the floor. If you have a sensitive back or a spine that isn't strong, and just lay straight down onto the floor, and we're going to find a neutral spine here. So keep the feet on the floor, the knees separated, and we're going to find a neutral spine, which is the position that we always want to work our core muscles. So arch your back by pushing the tailbone down into the floor, really having the motion come from the pelvis moving, not from the back working hard. The back just follows. And then tuck the tailbone up, lifting the pubic bone more towards your nose, which will flatten the back. Go through the full range of motion of your spine twice before deciding where your middle is, which will be where we practice. So this is different for different people. We all have a different spinal curvature, and it can be different on different days depending on what you've been doing and how your back is feeling. So find a place in the middle, and then we're going to do that tightening of the transverse abdominis. So to do that, inhale, letting the belly rise, and then exhale, pull the belly button in and down towards the spine, towards the floor. Feel with your fingers, make sure you have some tension right inside the hip bones. Now check with your neutral spine. Did you smash it when you did that? If so, reset, spine neutral again. Inhale and exhale. without smashing the back, tighten that stomach. So you're going to keep the stomach nice and tight, back isn't moving at all. And we're going to lift one leg up, reach it out long, lower it down to the floor, lift it up to the knee again, bend and place it. And we're going to do the other one, extend, slowly down, almost to the floor, lift it back up, knees in line, bend and place. Alternating legs, moving slowly and not letting the back move at all. Now bring attention while you're doing this to your shoulders. Try to let the shoulders rest down into the mat. Moving with great control, especially using the quad control on the way down and back up, keeping the tummy tight so the back doesn't arch when you lower that leg. Pushing the knee out straight, squeezing the quad, slowly down, slowly up, not losing that neutral spine. Good job. Keep those shoulders down and relax. If you want more of a challenge, you could have one leg doing this while the other leg is unweighted. So we could have both legs up. One leg is coming down and back up, while the other leg is suspended, keeping the spine neutral. So that adds a good challenge, still doing the leg lift. Good job. Couple more, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And bring attention to your breathing. Are you breathing still? So try to breathe in one way and out the other, whatever feels most comfortable for you. For me, it feels better to inhale as my leg goes down, exhale as I bring it back up. All right, relax. Bring your knees into your chest, both of them up towards your chest. If you have hips that can't bend past 90, then just keep your knees at 90 and rock your back and forth. So if you had a total hip, follow your hip precautions. If you can, bring your knees all the way up to your chest, hug your knees towards your armpits, and rock your low back out that way. So your low back shouldn't be feeling painful. It might feel a little bit tired, but if it's feeling very fatigued or achy after that, then you'll want to do a smaller motion, maybe just a little tiny leg lift instead of such a big motion, because until your core gets stronger to support the back, if you're feeling strain in the back, that's not where you want to be. You want the core to strengthen until you don't feel any strain in the back and you can control it all with the core. So just do smaller motions until that happens. And it will happen pretty fast, I promise. Okay, now we're going to all find that neutral spine again, tighten the core and bring both of your legs up. So if you find that when you bring both legs up, you totally lose neutral spine, then you can do this with just one leg. But if you can, bring both legs up and reach them as far as your hamstrings allow towards the ceiling, toes reaching towards the ceiling. If you can get your knees all the way straight, that's great. If they're very bent, that's okay too. So reach them up to a comfortable place. And then we're going to do the one where we inhale and let the toes fall away from the body a little bit. Exhale, pull them back up, pulling the navel into the spine. Inhale, let it go away just a little bit, not too far because the back wants to arch. So you can do this exercise, and people with strong abs can do this exercise and go all the way down to the floor and back up. And we can do that using the rectus abdominis, which is the six-pack muscle. But if you really activate this lower muscle and make it do the work, you really can't go very far before other things start compensating. So that's what I encourage you to do, is a little motion. And draw the belly button back in, pulling the knees back towards your heart. Inhaling away, just one more. Exhale, pull it back in, pull the belly button in. Good. So it's a very small motion so that you don't start compensating with other stronger muscles. All right, we're going to do one more here. If you want to do the first level, you're going to just keep your back neutral and let the knee fall out and back in. And this is going to very, very gently activate your obliques. So as your knee falls out, don't allow the hips to rotate. As you pull the knee back in, use the stomach, use that diagonal pull to draw the knee back up to straight. If you've been doing this a while, we're going to do bicycles with a crossover. So you'll bring your legs up, support your neck behind your head, never pulling on the neck, always keeping the neck just resting in your hands. We're going to inhale and then exhale, pull the belly button in and cross over. If you want, you can bring one leg straight, cross over to the opposite knee, then inhale down flat. Exhale up, rotating across, inhaling back. If you want to, you can also not bring the knee out straight. You can keep both the knees bent and just exhale, rotate across. Good. And if you also want, you can just be doing the bent knee fall out with both feet on the ground, which will also activate the obliques and start building strength. Good. Exhaling across, inhaling down, exhaling, inhaling back. Good. One more on each side. Beautiful. Let the head relax down. Reach the feet down long. Stretch the arms overhead. Stretch out long, fingertips away from toe tip. Pull the belly in and long. Good. Okay, we are going to rotate side to side a little bit. So bring the arms out straight to a T position out beside you. And then we're going to let the knees fall across. So you can either just rotate them together one way and then the other, rocking back and forth, going slowly if you haven't done a lot of twisting of the spine recently. Another way to do this is to cross over as if we're going to do our figure 4 stretch that we'll do soon after hip work, and let the knees fall across that way. So play with which one feels more comfortable. Either way, when you get your knees down towards the floor, as far as you feel comfortable, if they're off the floor, that's fine. Try to press the opposite shoulder into the floor, giving your upper body a twist. And take one deep breath there. And as you exhale, see if you can deepen your twist comfortably. Good. And then bring your knees back up. Go to the other side, whether you cross over or just keep the knees together is fine, whatever feels right to you. And then twist the other way, trying to press the shoulder down into the mat, allowing the knees to fall towards the floor. Inhale. Feel the ribs expand. Exhale, see if you can twist a little further, feeling the twist in that upper back. Good, and then come back to center. Good job. All right, we're going to do a little bridging. So I'll give you a choice. You can either, if you have any osteoporosis in your spine, this is what you'll do. Or if you just prefer it, you'll squeeze your glutes to activate the glute muscle and push straight up into a bridge as far as you can, keeping your feet on the ground nice and flat, keeping the knees and the feet in line with the hips. Up at the top, you'll inhale and exhale fully for one cycle, and then you'll just lower down slowly with control all the way down. The reason for the tightening of the glutes first and then lifting is so that the hamstrings don't become actively insufficient and cramp. So squeezing the glutes, making them work. Otherwise, you can curl up, which is a way I like to do it. So curling the spine, tucking the tailbone up, curling the low back off the mat first, then the ribs, seeing if you can get your spine evenly peeling up, imagining all the little vertebrae moving separately, all the way up towards where your shoulders meet your neck. Again, inhaling here, exhaling fully, squeezing your glute muscles, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, and then coming down slowly on the second exhale, unwinding the spine, feeling vertebrae by vertebrae lay down onto the mat, seeing if you can get the right and the left sides evenly, and finally totally releasing the hips. Good. Inhaling up, no matter which way you're doing. We're going to do 3 more of these. If you want to challenge at the top during your full inhale, exhale, straighten the leg or just lift it up off the ground, keeping the hips level. And then switch to the other side. This is the harder version, or just lifting the knee up, activating one side, keeping the hips level. So if I put a cup of water, it wouldn't go spilling. And then resetting, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Curling down on your exhale slowly, paying attention to the spine. Good. If your bridge is only an inch off of the mat, that's a really good start. Squeezing the glutes, working your way higher and higher as you get stronger. And as you get stronger, if you're doing that single leg challenge, you can hold it for longer and longer. You can even do leg lifts while you're up in the bridge position. So this is the last bridge, inhaling all the way up wherever you're at, challenging at the top or just breathing. The leg lift would look like this. So keeping the hips level, lifting the leg up and down while you're at the top. Not letting that hip drop. And then exhaling, curling down or settling down slowly, using the glutes for control. Good. Knees up to your chest one more time. Rocking back and forth. Come into baby pose if you like this pose, happy baby. Again, this is a lot of hip flexion, so if you've had any hip surgeries, you won't do this. Knees into your armpits if you're in happy baby. Grabbing a hold of your big toe and pulling your toes kind of down, pushing pressure from your knee into your armpit. That'll give you a nice stretch of your back. And then just rocking side to side, trying to let the sacrum and the tailbone kind of float. If this brings up any emotions for you, just acknowledge that. Back off if you need to. Relax. Try to let it go. Okay, my friends, we're going to roll over onto your side. Let's go onto our right side to start with. And we're going to quickly do our hips not for too long because we're running short on time already. If you can't lay on your side and you have a band, you can tie it around your knees and do exercises in seated position, pulling the knees out and back towards each other in a seated position, and you'll still activate these muscles that we're working now. Okay, bring the hips stacked, pull the belly button in, find that nice long spine, stretch the toe, reaching the pointed toe down and reaching out of the hip. So notice when you do that, that your hip actually lengthens. You gain a good amount of height and there's space in your hip. Okay, if you need support, put your hand on the mat. If not, use your core, pull it in. We're going to do kick, kick forward, kick, kick back without moving the body, only the leg is moving. Keep breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Now we're going to bicycle, bring the knee forward, bend the leg, heel toward the butt, bending that knee as far as it can, and then reach it back behind you, straighten the leg. Reach forward, controlling the motion with your core, reaching back. This is a very dynamic exercise. If you're doing it right, you're using a lot of core and also your hip is working. Next time we're back, keep the leg back, lengthen, reach through the toe, keep the thigh right there, bend the knee, heel toward the butt, then bring the knee forward and extend long in front of you. Back as far as you can, keep the thigh right there. Tighten up the hamstring, then bring it forward. Good, 2 more. Keep breathing. Good. And lengthen in front of you, come back to neutral. We're going to do cantaloupe or soccer ball circles, whichever fruit or ball you prefer. You're going to reach out of your hip, toe is pointed, and we're going to circle smoothly a little ball right down at our standing foot there. We go for 10 circles each direction, nice and small, nice and smooth, finding control deep in that hip. All of the muscles are having to work synchronously. Good, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should feel that hip burn in 5. Keep your tummy tight. Keep breathing. When you're breathing, it makes it much easier for your working muscles. 1 more, and 10. Relax that leg. We're going to just do 10 lifts with this bottom leg. So put your top foot out of the way, keep the tummy pulled in, hips stacked, and we're just going to lift as high as you comfortably can and lower down slowly. Inhale up, exhale down for 10, 3, 4, 5. Nice and slow down, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Okay, roll over onto your stomach for just a moment. We're going to kick our legs, lifting the thigh up off of the mat, activating our glutes one more time, like you're kicking in a pool if you're a swimmer. Keeping the knee very straight, pointing through the toe. Alternating one and then the other, lifting the thigh all the way off the floor if you can. Good. Nice. Press your elbows right beside you. Let the arms relax a moment. And just press up, lifting the heart off the floor a little bit. Reversing the curve of the back there in the upper back, letting the low back stay relaxed. Using the hands pushing into the mat to lift the heart. And then exhale down. Good, 1 more lift here. Inhaling up, heart lifts, shoulder blades go back and down. Lift as far as it feels comfortable. Really focusing on the upper back, not the lower back here. The low back should be comfortable. And then totally relax flat. Good. Roll over onto your other side. So laying on your left side. We're going to do the same exercises and then we'll do our meditation at the end. So this is the last exercise. So pull your stomach in, find that neutral spine again, top of the head, reaching away from that top toe. Point the toe and reach out of the hip. So everything is in good alignment. Tighten the tummy, hand on the hip if you want to work the core more. If you need more support, hand on the floor for a little stability. And then you're going to come forward, kick, kick, back. Don't let the body move. Kick, kick, squeeze the glutes. Kick, 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 kick. Good. Breathing all the time. Trying to keep your mind right here still. We're almost done. Good. Now we're going to come into bicycle. So forward, bend the knee, heel toward the butt, and reach behind you. Squeezing the glute, reaching the leg wall. Swinging forward, controlling that spine with your core. Reach. Forward, bend, and reach. One more here. Oh. And hold your leg back. Bring your heel towards your buttock. Good job. Knee forward and lengthen. Back. Keep breathing. Heel toward the butt. Forward and lengthen. 2 more of these. Back. Keep your thigh right where it is. And you bend that knee, heel toward the butt in the back. Good. And lengthen and bring back to center. Let it rest a moment. You can always punch your hip out if it's feeling tired. Okay, we're going to do those little soccer ball circles. So reaching the toe long and circle the ball. Little controlled circles 10 times each way. Oftentimes the leg that you do second is already tired from stabilizing when you are laying on it. So it's very normal for the second side to feel very hard. And reverse. Nice and smooth circles. These work your hips really well. They will help stabilize a healthy knee. They will bring your glutes higher and stronger. Good. And relax. Press that foot into the floor, and we're just going to do 10 lifts with that lower leg, activating the inside adductors of that lower leg. Lifting as high as you can, lowering slowly. I'm going a little faster than I'd like to because I'm trying not to go way over. Good. Make sure you're still breathing. Check on your shoulders and neck. They should be relaxed still. This doesn't have to do with them. Good. And once you get to 10, which I don't know where I am because I was talking, relax and roll onto your back for a quick hip stretch before we do our meditation. So place your right foot over your left knee and grab hold of the thigh of that left leg. And then you're going to bring your knees up towards your chest, bending the elbows, not shrugging the shoulders. Inhale deeply. Send the breath right to the right hip, deep in that hip. Slide the foot over if you're not feeling a good stretch. Bend the elbows a little bit more as you exhale, keeping the shoulders down, using the biceps. Good. Feeling a nice stretch in that hip. If this doesn't feel good, you're doing it wrong. So either back off a little or slide the foot across the knee differently. Good. Reach both legs up long as far as you can. And then switch. So left foot over the right knee now. Grab hold of that right thigh. Shoulders are down and back. Inhale. Exhale, pull the knees towards the heart. Feeling a stretch deep in that left hip now. Good. As you inhale, imagine the breath going right into the hip. As you exhale, imagine the tension just dissolving and melting into the mat. Beautiful. Reach the legs one more time up tall as long as you can above you. Circle your ankles. Circle them the other way. Shoulders are back into the mat. And release. Good. Now you're going to just assume a comfortable position for a meditation time. If you prefer to sit, you're welcome to sit and close your eyes. Make sure that you're propped with something behind your back if you can't sit comfortably. You want to be in a comfortable position. Lying down flat on your back is wonderful. If you want something under your knees, like a bolster or pillow, that's great. Come into a position of rest. And we're just going to take a few breaths to notice how our body is feeling now. After activating so many muscles, lengthening the spine, breathing, hopefully staying present in our body during all this instead of letting our mind flit about. Notice if there's anywhere you're holding tension. Bring a deep diaphragm breath, belly breath to that place. And then exhale, try to release, let it flow into the mat, relaxing and becoming heavy. Once you feel settled into the mat, just focus on your breath, a couple breaths. Give thanks for your breath and the way that it nourishes you, the way that it can bring awareness to your body. The way that whether you are paying attention to it or not, it gives you life and vitality all day long and all night long. And giving thanks for the breath that you can always pay attention to and lengthen the exhale. Bringing your body into a digesting, resting, healing, relaxing state. And give thanks for the breath that even when you're stressed, you can bring attention to and regulate, decreasing your stress, decreasing your mind chatter, bringing you into the present now. I'm going to just imagine a light, a golden light above us. Focus on the golden light above us. Feel its warmth. Feel a healing coming over our bodies in a warm, gentle, soothing way. Let the body be relaxed and resting and not resist. Let it just settle. Bring that healing light all around you. Notice the peace that comes to you when you just focus on that energy, that light. Even for a split second, can you feel yourself settling into that peaceful, calm energy? Breathing in that golden energy, breathing out, settling deeper into your state of relaxation. Breathing in that golden energy, shimmering all your cells, buzzing and vibrating with it. Breathing out any anxiety you're holding, letting your body go. Just rest. One more breath. Breathing in that golden energy. Focus your mind's eye on it. Feel the radiance. Feel that space in your heart, in your mind. Feel that peace. Good. Give thanks for your smart, intelligent body, the beauty of its design. Amazing that it works, and it amazes me all the time that it works so beautifully. Give thanks again for your breath. Give thanks for the energy flowing through you, for your groundedness to the earth, for this time of peacefulness. Bring your hands to your heart. Try to pull the energy above into your heart. Reach up and grab that golden energy that you are visualizing and pull it towards your heart. Good. Okay, we're going to wiggle our bodies, bringing our attention back to our bodies, bringing a little bit of waking up energy into our bodies now. Take a deep breath. Feel the length through the spine. Exhale and roll to your side. You're going to push up slowly into a seated position. And bring your hands to your heart. Sitting up tall one more time on your sit bones. Good. Okay, I give thanks for all of you for practicing and for spending time with me today and with yourself. Hopefully this helped you, and we'll mix it up next time. Okay, love you all.
That was just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Love you all. Bye.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you. Bye-bye.